In the wilds of Montana, where the forests stretched endlessly and the mountains touched the sky, lived a 10-year-old boy named Ethan. He had grown up surrounded by nature. His dad was a forest ranger, and his mum was the town's only veterinarian. He knew how to find his way in the woods, which plants were poisonous, and how to react if he ever ran into a wild animal. But none of that could have prepared him for what was about to happen. One chilly autumn morning, Ethan went with his dad to check a remote area of the forest where hunters often passed through. His dad told him to wait by the truck while he made a call back to town. But Ethan, curious as always, wandered off, drawn deeper into the trees without realizing how far he had gone. Dark clouds started rolling in. The wind picked up, making the trees sway and creak. Montana storms were fast and brutal. A loud crack of thunder shook the sky, and within minutes, rain poured down like a flood. Ethan turned to head back, only to realize he had no idea which way to go. Panic set in. He ran, calling out for his dad, but the wind swallowed his voice. The rain blurred everything. His foot slipped, and before he knew it, he was tumbling down a steep hill, hitting the ground hard. His head struck a rock, and everything went black. When he woke up, night had fallen. The forest was pitch dark, and the distant howls of coyotes sent shivers down his spine. The rain had eased, but the cold seeped into his bones. As he struggled to sit up, he heard something big moving nearby. Ethan froze. A massive shadow shifted in the darkness. Then, two glowing eyes locked onto his. A bear. A huge, powerful grizzly. His heart pounded so loudly, he was sure the bear could hear it. He remembered what his dad had told him. Don't run, don't make eye contact, move slowly. But there was nowhere to move. The bear took a step closer. Then another. It raised a paw, massive claws, glinting in the dim light. Ethan braced himself. This was it. But the bear didn't attack. Instead, it lowered its head, sniffing the air. Its deep grumbles weren't aggressive. They sounded almost like pain. Ethan squinted in the darkness and then saw it. An arrow lodged in the bear's shoulder. A hunter must have shot it. Ethan, still shaking, realized the bear was suffering. His mom had treated wounded animals before, and he'd watched her many times. Slowly, he pulled a crumpled handkerchief from his pocket and ever so carefully reached toward the wound. The bear flinched, but didn't attack. It just stood there, letting the boy press the cloth against its fur. Ethan could feel its heavy, exhausted breathing. For the first time, he wasn't afraid. That night, they stayed together. Ethan, curled up in the dirt, tried to sleep. The bear only a few feet away. Every now and then, it grunted, shifting its weight, but it never left. By morning, the storm had passed, but Ethan was still lost. He had no idea which way to go, but the bear did. It started walking, pausing every few steps to make sure Ethan followed. They moved together through the forest, the boy trailing behind the giant creature that had once terrified him. Hours passed, and just when Ethan was starting to lose hope, he heard it, his father's voice. "Ethan!" His heart leaped. He ran toward the sound, breaking through the trees to find his dad and a group of searchers. Relief flooded his father's face as he sprinted to embrace him. But then, silence. Everyone had stopped, eyes wide with shock. Ethan turned. The bear stood a few feet away, watching. It lingered for a moment, then, as if understanding the boy was safe, slowly turned and disappeared back into the trees. Ethan never saw it again, but he never forgot. Because sometimes, the most unexpected friendships are born in the most dangerous moments.